It's the first time in history the state of Israel has officially partnered with 1,000 strategic pastors to commission them as ambassadors to combat anti-Semitism and reach the youth of their generation.
Dr. Mike Evans says Israel's fight is not just on the battlefield.
Right now, there's an ideological war that Israel's losing. So they need the evangelicals, they need the Zionists to fight an ideological war.
One of the goals of this gathering is to strengthen Christian support during a time of growing global anti-Semitism. They say the pulpit must speak louder than the propaganda.
Pastors are teaching it.
Let me go ahead and tell you guys something real quick, okay? This is how weak their alliance is. When the quote-unquote Messiah, that the Jews are waiting for, when he comes, guess what? Christians and Muslims are going to be fighting together against the Messiah. This is how weak their faith is. Their not their faith, I'm sorry. Their alliance is. Why do I also say that? Because Muslims and Christians both believe in Jesus. Muslims and Christians both believe that Jesus is going to return. Muslims and Christians are going to fight alongside Jesus. Who do you think they're going to fight? Hello?
From the pulpit, Christians are being sent on free trips to Israel, funded by pro-Israel organizations, and church curricula are being shaped to promote this theology.
We're launching in 2026 a global program to reach 1 million pastors and 1 million churches globally to teach them a biblical worldview so they realize God's not canceling any promises to the Jewish people, and he's not canceling to the Christians either.
And church curricula are being shaped to promote this theology. And millions of evangelical Christians now believe that supporting the modern state of Israel, no matter what its government does, is non-negotiable. So you've got tens of millions of American Christians supporting Israel, not out of concern for Jewish safety, but because they need Jews in Israel to fulfill their own religious narrative. Kind of convenient, huh? But wait, I thought we had separation of church and state in this country, right? Well, yet here we have what looks like foreign policy being preached as biblical mandate, influencing how millions of Americans vote and pressuring politicians to send billions of dollars overseas.
So it's just, I think, an extraordinary time for pastors to go to their pulpits and to speak with clarity and with boldness and to push back on the anti-Semitism, the bigotry that is being pushed toward Jewish people and toward the people of Israel.
And
have you noticed that they're all a bunch of old farts who are literally getting ready to kick the bucket? I mean, seriously, they're a bunch of old people. These guys are like, dude, you got 1 foot in the grave already. Just give it up, man. Fuck.
This is what's tearing MAGA apart. So now you can see it clearly, right? MAGA has split into two camps. We've got America first, we got into this movement to fix America, put American citizens first, pretty much. And then we have Israel first. Supporting Israel is a biblical mandate. Sending billions of dollars there is non-negotiable. If you question it, you're anti-Semitic. You're not really MAGA. You're not a real Christian. Hell, you're even a traitor. And you can literally watch this war playing out right now.
Name one good thing that Zionism has brought to my country.
Who would actually invoke God himself to justify a political alliance with a foreign country? And if you've already guessed Ted Cruz, you're absolutely right.
The public polling numbers of support for Israel among young Christians is plummeting. And they're being spread lies. They're being spread lies, isolationist lies, that we should withdraw from the world because nobody wants to hurt us. But they're also being spread theological lies. They are being taught replacement theology.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the prime definition of a bullshitter right in front of you. This guy over here believes in a verse of a Bible that he can't even name exactly which verse it was coming from. Everything that he is saying, everything that his passion, his fire that is burning in his heart for the state of Israel is being lit up by the money that he is getting. As long as he keeps his mouth shut, keep your ass going to work, making sure you don't question the state of Israel to continuously keep giving you money to them so that way they can keep bombing people, okay? He gets paid. That's his whole job. He couldn't even take the time to sit there and actually contemplate on the verse that he wholeheartedly believes in. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call a weak, spineless fucking retard right here.
Which is a lie that the promises God made to Israel and the people of Israel are somehow no longer good, they are no longer valid, that when God made a promise, he didn't mean the promise he made. And instead, it is an argument that the Christian church has replaced Israel and the Jews are no longer God's chosen people, and all of the promises throughout the Bible are now a dead letter. The church need to engage and say the Bible is not silent on Israel. The Bible is crystal clear on Israel. And
see, he's saying that. What does the verse say? I literally forgot. Anyway, it says, he who blesses Israel, God shall bless them. Tell him to name the verse before and after that. He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know. And yet he is so strong about the verse.
in the church, we will stand and fight.
Tucker Carlson, one of the biggest voices in conservative media, says things about Israel he never would have said 5 years ago.
It's extremely obvious to anyone who watches that this guy had direct connections to a foreign government. Now, no one's allowed to say that that foreign government is Israel because we have been somehow cowed into thinking that that's naughty. There is nothing wrong with saying that.
You're not allowed to use my tax dollars to bomb churches.
Well, that's what they're doing.
I'll put up with a lot of stuff, but I think that's, and I've said this 100 times, let me say it again. I don't understand how any Christian leader in the United States can sit by and not say something about that.
Israel is a tiny and inherently insignificant country, at least geopolitically, in that it has only 9 million people. It's about the size of New Jersey, famously, but it has a much smaller GDP. It just doesn't really matter. And yet, despite its objective insignificance, it is the focus of the conversation, but it's also the focus of the spending.
And Charlie Kirk hosted debates questioning whether we should keep funding Israel.
How many of you guys think when a lawmaker, and a man I respect like Ted Cruz, uses the Bible to justify aid to Israel, doesn't even know the verse, do you guys think that's like not the best way to approach this? Raise your hand.
Oh,
okay.
man.
I think Ted Cruz used Genesis 12:3. I think a lot of people see that as off-putting when you look at the New Testament.
Why?
Because I think a lot of people,
This is what got him killed. Yeah, he started to get too close to the fire. Yeah, when they give you money, yeah, you're not allowed to question their morals. You are only allowed to accept whatever bullshit slop they give you. So if they say Israel is the most moral country in the world, meanwhile they're bombing children, your job is to say Israel is the most moral army in the world. If they drop a nuclear bomb and say it was necessary to unalive millions of innocent people, your job is to sit there and say it was necessary to drop the nuclear bomb. Yeah. Charlie Kirk recognized that far too late. And now look where he's at.
They'll look especially at the writings of Paul, where he talks about how the new flesh is not the same as the people in the old covenant. The new flesh is everybody, is everyone's included.
Talking about Romans 9.
Yes, 9:6, yeah.
Are you Catholic?
There he is. I got a lot of opinion to say about him, but I'm not going to go ahead and say that because I have no solid. I just have my own personal opinion, so I will keep that to myself.
Converting a Catholic from Judaism.
This is my next.
From Judaism?
Yes.
I was talking about
So
Andrew
you're ethnically Jewish.
Ethnically Jewish, yes.
And you have concerns about AIPAC.
Yes, I do.
I'm told that by some people that if I criticize
I don't trust him at all. That's all I got to say.
as AIPAC, I'm anti-Semitic.
I think it's ridiculous, yeah. I feel like it's great to have a concern for your country.
Think about that. The Christian evangelical who built the biggest conservative youth organization in America let his audience question this.
Do you think that that AIPAC represents, again, I'm not saying I believe this, but I think this is what you're saying, that it represents a kind of cutting in line of prioritization away from the American people?
Yes.
Would you guys say that's a fair summary? 100%. Meaning that, like, okay, we vote, we're citizens, but a separate group gets higher priority because of whatever reasons. You look like you want to.
Of course, I do not think that other countries should be telling us how to spend, telling our representatives and people who are here to represent all of us that they should be focusing outside of the United States. America first. Thank you.
These aren't fringe voices. These are literally the people who built the MAGA movement, but they are now being cast out. And on the other side, you've got Ben Shapiro and an army of influencers and content creators defending Israel like their careers and lives depend on it.
Well, yeah, that's probably because they get $7,000 per post. But truth of the matter is they don't have truth on their side. When they post some kind of nonsense on the internet, all you gotta say is just give another example, and then they're just gonna start stuttering like a bunch of morons. Truth never changes. The only reason lies is always one step ahead of the truth is simply because it's easy to make up a lie. Meanwhile, truth is only consistent throughout time. That's the reality of things.
Claims that AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, controls Congress. This claim is frequently made by people who have conspiratorial feelings about shadowy figures influencing the American Congress. It can't be that many Republicans just are pro-Israel. It has to be that Jew money. It's got to be that AIPAC money that's making it happen.
I think it's a calling on all of us.
And then you got, wow, man. Excuse me. You know what? Let me let Talmud Tatum over here just do his talk.
To stand up with the relationship that we have with the state of Israel and our Jewish brothers and sisters.
Bibi himself acknowledged that they needed to utilize TikTok.
Okay, we have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influences. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is class. TikTok.
And Trump?
I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I hate listening to this guy's voice. I hate it so much. It's just so annoying, bro. Like it's like a like the squeaking noise on a chalkboard, like something. Oh my god, dude.
Well, he's caught right in the middle. Mega donors like Miriam Adelson are writing $100 million checks demanding loyalty to Israel, but his base is asking, wait, what happened to America first?
Right.
And when you look at who's funding Trump and what business deals are happening behind the scenes with his family, it starts to make sense. If you want me to do a deep dive on Trump's Israel connection specifically, because trust me, there's a lot more to this story, drop a comment and let me know. I'll make that video next. So
please do, so I can react to that one too.
Do you see the problem? The Israel First camp is citing biblical verses that many scholars, even conservative theologians, consider heresy. They want American taxpayers to fund a foreign nation based on a religious interpretation that a huge portion of the MAGA coalition doesn't share. And when the America First people push back and say, hey, wait, I thought we were putting America first, they get called anti-Semitic. They get called traitors. They get unendorsed.
That's
then,
right.
you know, the Israel First people will say, but Israel is our greatest ally in the Middle East. We have to support them. Okay, let's actually examine that claim, right? Because before this alliance, we didn't have nearly as much conflict in the Middle East. We've been in forever wars for decades now, largely to help Israeli interests. And it's not just about defense. There's something called the Greater Israel Project, which suggests territorial expansion, not just security. So,
I made a video as to exactly why they're trying to conquer this whole entire region right here. You see the Red Sea? Yeah. If these satanic get their hands on the Red Sea, everybody in Europe will literally have to bend knees to these guys right here. Every citizen will have to make their way to Israel and go kiss that damn wall. Lick it, kiss it, make love to it. Why? Because all the shipment that's going to make their way here, yeah, they're going to make money off of that. And if you're one of those European land that says, fuck the state of Israel, guess what, buddy? Yeah, you know what the Houthis are doing to the ship? They'll do the same thing to yours. They'll just say, no, you're not going over there. Sorry, go back. Yeah.
yes, territorial expansion, not just security. So our politicians are weirdly devoted to Israel, even the ones who aren't religious at all, which brings up really uncomfortable questions. Like, is it just theology and alliance, or is there something else going on? Blackmail, bribery, Jeffrey Epstein's little black book. People don't trust the government anymore. They're fed up. They're sick of being told they have to choose between the lesser of two evils and just accept it, right? I actually just experienced this firsthand. Right here in my district in Tennessee, we just had a special election. And my options were option one, a liberal candidate who openly said she hates elements of Nashville culture. She supports taxpayer-funded gender-affirming care for minors, and also said crazy stuff like this.
Recurring dream I've had is standing up in a cafeteria full of women. I don't know why I was there or whatever. And saying, I don't want children, I want power. And just screaming it at the top of my lungs.
Yeah, so someone who clearly doesn't represent me or my values. And then we had option two, a Trump-endorsed MAGA Republican who put support for Israel front and center in his campaign.
Yeah, either way, anyway. Anybody who gets into office, if you don't go and kiss the wall and say, I love state of Israel, yeah, you're not getting into office.
So what were my actual options? Vote for someone who supports transing kids with my tax dollars, or vote for someone who's going to put Israel first instead of Tennessee first? Where's the America First option? This is the trap so many of us are in right now. We were promised America first. We were told we were going to drain the swamp and put American citizens at the top of the priority list. But Now we're stuck choosing between terrible options because questioning whether we should send billions to Israel makes you not really MAGA. And even worse, it makes you anti-Semitic. My neighbors, good people, have an Israeli flag flying next to their American flag outside their house. And you wanna know what's wild? Well, they just replaced the Israeli flag with a fresh new one. But
yeah, see, you shouldn't have said that. Why? Because as soon as they see this video, they're probably gonna go ahead and complain to the state of Israel, so that way they can get you out of their neighborhood. You know, for some reason, every single time the Jew, their feelings get hurt, they all of a sudden invoke, you know, the state of Israel, and then of course we give them respiration for reparation. God, I couldn't even say that properly. But yes, when their feelings get hurt, they get reparation for that. So congratulations, you played yourself.
the American flag, it's still tattered and faded. And that tells you everything you need to know about where the priorities are. But here's what's giving me hope. People are waking up. Young conservatives are asking questions they weren't allowed to ask before.
I'm a Christian man, and I'm just confused why that there's this notion that we might have owe Israel something, or that they're our greatest ally, or that we have to support this multi-$100 billion foreign aid package to Israel to cover this, to quote Charlie Kirk, ethnic cleansing in Gaza.
So the facade is cracking, clearly. And this split happening right now is not a weakness. It's people finally having the courage to say, wait, this doesn't make any sense. This isn't what we signed up for. And that is exactly what needs to happen. Because real change doesn't come from everyone agreeing. Definitely no. It comes from people being brave enough to ask uncomfortable questions, to challenge the narrative, to demand better options than the lesser of two evils.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and add on to that, you know, you voting ain't gonna do shit. Somebody had to say it, and I'm gonna do the initiative. I'm gonna be the man here, okay, and say it. Your vote ain't gonna do shit. Give me one time in history that a vote actually brought about a massive change. One time.
So here's what I want you to take away from this, okay? You're not crazy for questioning this. You are not anti-Semitic for wanting your tax dollars to help Americans first. And you're not a traitor for asking why a foreign country gets more loyalty from our politicians than we do. You're just paying attention. The establishment wants you to pick a team and just shut up, right? They want you to be a Democrat or Republican, pro-Israel or anti-Semitic. They want you trapped in their binary choices so you never look up and realize they're playing for the same team. And it's not yours. So if you're feeling confused, frustrated, or demoralized by what's happening right now.
And that's why I say that seeing both Republican and the Democrat collapsing in of itself, I'm just like, yes. I'm not part of neither one of these groups because they're both screwing us over, whether you are a Republican or a Democrat. Let's be honest. When Benjamin Netanyahu came, like she said, 58 of them, 58 innovation. Just standing up, clapping like a bunch of seals. Yeah, they work for the same people.
Good. That means you're thinking for yourself. And that's exactly what scares them. This conversation certainly is not over. It's just beginning. And if you want to understand even more about how deep this MAGA civil war goes, and trust me, we've only kind of scratched the surface, check out this video where I break down the fractures in the conservative movement that led to this. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if this video finally gave you the words to explain what you've been feeling, share it. Send it to someone who's been calling you crazy for asking these questions.
That was a really good video. Definitely deserve a like and a subscribe because I'm really looking forward to reacting to more of her videos if she decides to post them in the future. But ladies and gentlemen, before I end it off, I just want to go and say this. Shut up, Goy, and go back and hate the Muslims. Okay? That's your job. You're not supposed to notice anything. What's wrong with you? The Muslims are the bad ones. Oh, yeah. They're the one that's making all the laws in Congress. They're the one that have blackmails on your politicians. They're the one that's making sure that, you know, billions of your dollars is going across sea. Meanwhile, you have a huge homelessness problem. And the cost of homes are going up. Groceries are going up. You get the whole idea. All right? With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'll catch you guys up later.